When are you going out?
Huh?
When are you going out?
End of April.
End of April? So it's just for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, no, 3 weeks.
Hey? Okay, cool. Frank? Okay.
Where?
What's happening, Frank?
The weather. You brought
Yeah.
weather with you.
I brought sunshine.
Dried up a bit, innit?
Good football match that last night, wasn't it, for you guys?
I'll tell you what.
Unlucky though.
I don't know. That wasn't I thought it was a penalty.
Those crisps sure look delicious, Paris.
It's a bloody good game. See the Man City game? Goals.
Do you know what? I watched all the highlights of it all this morning.
Brilliant. But it's exciting last night.
I'm not eating those sweets.
Well, hello, welcome wherever you are joining us around the world. And for those celebrating, Eid Mubarak to all of those celebrating. Welcome to Morecambe here in Lancashire. Welcome to the Mazuma Stadium. And of course, this is the home of the mighty Morecambe FC and the hometown of the mighty Gypsy King, sat there, the WBC and lineal world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. We are now just under 40 days away from the biggest fight of Tyson Fury's career so far, the undisputed fight, the fight of the century. On May 18th, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as part of Riyadh calendar, there is an iconic, unforgettable event taking place in the iconic capital city. The unified world heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk puts his WBA, WBO and IBF heavyweight titles on the line against this man here, the WBC and long-reigning lineal heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury. The two will finally collide in a ring of fire. Well, joining us here today are some key players in that event who are making this happen. Some of them are the movers and shakers. Some of them will be doing the fighting, of course. I'm delighted to be joined by Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren of Queensberry Promotions. We have perhaps the hardest working manager in all of boxing right now, Spencer Brown of Gold Star, and perhaps the sweetest man in boxing in the Sugar Hill at the end of the table as well, all with the champion. Now we're going to hear from everyone up here very, very shortly, but of course before that we need to say thank you to those in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia who are making these incredible events right now possible. So firstly, let's say thank you to the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. And of course, let's say thank you to the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. Okay, well, let's get going. Tyson, I just want to start with you. You are the reason that we are here. We are now, as I mentioned, under 40 days away from the fight, the undisputed fight, the fight of the century. You look in great shape. Is it all systems going?
Before I start, I just want to say a massive shout out to Turki Al-Sheikh and all of everyone who's working in Saudi Arabia. Eid Mubarak to all you guys, and have a fantastic day. And the answer to your question is, yeah, I'm training hard, obviously. I'm in fantastic shape, obviously, and I've got a massive fight coming up, obviously. So I think there's no room for error. There's no room for not training right or any problems. So we just got to get through it. And 40 days out, I'm feeling fantastic. I know all boxers say the same, oh shit, like I've had a fantastic training camp, yada, yada, yada. But I actually am having a fantastic training camp and got a good team around me and everything's going to plan. No complaints, working very hard. Got my dad in camp this time, so I've got my secret weapon over there as well. I got Ty Mitchell in. I got all the boys, all the girls are in camp. So we've got a full circus camp. So yeah, can't do any more really.
It was heartbreak when the fight was postponed initially. How long did it take you to get over that and get going again?
At first, I was a little bit depressed for the first day or so, but afterwards, like all things in life, I realised God's timing is impeccable, perfect. It's not late, it's not early, but it's bang on time. So it wasn't my time to fight for the championship then, but it is going to be my time on May the 18th. So I'm really preparing fantastic for it.
Let's bring in Frank Warren. A historic moment on May 18th in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is going to be quite the event, and this man looks ready to go here.
He does, and I want to echo as well our thanks to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, and all the team who've made this happen, and all the team here at the table who've made it happen. And it will happen on the 18th. We've got the biggest fight of the 21st century taking place. It's never happened before. 4 belts on the line, and we're going to find out who the best heavyweight in the world is. I've got my views, and I know my views are going to be right, but it's going to be something special, something extra special. And these things come along, you know, once, well, certainly in this case, on this occasion, once in a century up to us yet. So a special fight with 2 special undefeated fighters, 2 undefeated fighters, and the world is going to see who is the best.
I'm the best. I'm just defending my bestness against him.
The lineal champion and WBC champion fighting for the other 3 belts.
And you know what, Frank, yeah? I read a lot of comments, people saying, oh, there's 4 belts. Let's just get this one clear right now. There's a lot more than 4 belts on the line. You got IBO, IBF, WBO, WBA, WBC, Ring Magazine, and Lineal. So for all you motherfuckers out there thought it was 4, correction, it's 7. There's 7 things on the line here in this historic event.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
It's 8. Because there is the 8.
Oh, the Riyadh season belt. Yeah, you've corrected. I stand corrected.
I was 1.
8.
Right.
So it's 8 belts in one fight. That's got to be a record.
Yeah, it has, without a doubt.
For
You have to get another cabinet, you know.
I'm going to have to, for sure.
Let's bring in Spencer Brown. You've been all around the country with Tyson Fury in terms of the tours that you used to do, the speaking tours, and now you're his manager as well, this next stage of his career. What are you seeing from this man heading into this fight?
I'm seeing a man who's on a mission. He's never looked so good in the last couple of years. And what I'm hearing from the camp, I'm not there every day to watch everything and to see everything, but everybody's telling me he's in fantastic shape, great order. You know, he's brought his dad in, and it's very important to have your family around him. I think he'll agree with that. The sugar, very good buzz about the camp, which is fantastic.
Well, let's ask Sugar Hill on this. I mean, you are with Tyson Fury all the time now as well. Since the cut, how have things been? Have you had to kind of calm down a bit on the sparring? Like, how does it work? Do you readdress everything?
For me, it's just watching him day to day. He hasn't really let down since the end of the last training camp before the cut. And I guess pretty much for me, one of the hardest things is watching out for these kind of camps when the fighter is totally ready to go, and just kind of pacing him to keep him ready and not overdoing it. So it's not that difficult, but you just have to watch. You just have to watch the fighter. The fighter will tell you everything if you watch him.
And how does he compare at this point to what he did leading up to the Francis Ngannou fight?
You know what? I believe the Francis Ngannou fight was just him having so much time off and not being mentally like focused as he is for this one here. You know, he was still ready for the fight. It's just a different mentality when you go in there with at this level for everything, something that he's been waiting for so long. You know, you I don't want to say you dream of these things, but these are the things that actually can drive you to be a better person and to bring out your best.
Spencer, and this is a question for everyone really, were you surprised with some of the comments that came from the Usyk camp? I think Alex Krasik was actually advising you, Tyson, to retire as well. Did this cause surprise?
Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? Because they've got a mountain to climb to get through, and a mountain to chip away at, and it's not going to be easy for them at all. They've played the game. We've had a few comments from them in the past. Tyson very quickly and very swiftly dealt with that, and I think when he cut his eye, we dealt with it very well, very quickly. we all spoke and got the date done. So there was nothing too much to moan about. But yeah, he's got to go through a mountain, Usyk, and I wouldn't like to face this mountain, that's for sure.
Well, Tyson, at the launch press conference where you faced off with Oleksandr Usyk, he didn't say a lot at that press conference. Do you think that's him holding back, or he doesn't want to get involved? What is it?
He doesn't speak English, for one, so he speaks a little bit of English, but it's very difficult to speak to a encyclopedia in boxing who speaks fluent English when you speak broken English. So I don't think you're ever going to get a foreigner sitting up here with me. You get any American, any British fighter I've ever fought in nearly 20 years of boxing, no one has ever competed with me on speaking. So especially not some foreign man who speaks broken English. As for all the stuff their camp said and all that, you know, this is show business, this is entertainment, this is everything. So if they don't talk about what's going on, then people lose interest and yada, yada, yada. So they've got to talk shit. It's a must. If you don't talk smack in this game, you ain't going to make it. There's a heavyweight in here, yeah, who's on his rise. And my advice to him is talk tons of smack the whole way. That's how people notice you. And then, when they notice you, then you can show them your skills and do what you got to do. And that's how it's done. And as for like all of Usyk's team, they're all lovely, decent people, I think. I saw his manager over in Saudi recently. I was just having a bit of fun with him, but I shook his hand, and he's a nice fella, you know. He's doing the best he can for his man, which, you know, Frank, Spencer, all my team are doing the best they can for their man. So, and if you don't do the best for your man, then you're a pretty shit manager or promoter. That's what I'd say. But as for like, I've seen some stuff in the media like this is really personal between me and Oleksandr Usyk. It's not personal. It's strictly business for both fighters, you know. There's a lot of stuff on the line and all that, but I don't hate him. He don't hate me. He's a good husband, good God-fearing man, so I respect him as a man, as a fighter. He's undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's unified heavyweight champion, so anyone would have to respect the man's achievements. Good fighter, you know. I've got a tough challenge in front of me, but I'm very confident in my ability, and I'm very confident that I'll beat the guy. But that's not to say he's shit just because he loses to me. Like, you know, everybody I ever beat before, even long-reigning lineal champions like Vladimir Klitschko, after I beat him, everyone said, oh, he's a piece of shit, him. Wilder, all of these guys who I ever beat, they were all shit after I beat them. So please don't say that Oleksandr Usyk's shit after I beat him, because he's not. He's a unified heavyweight champion, undisputed cruiserweight champion. But my personal opinion is we have weight divisions for a reason. And me being an encyclopedia on boxing, and I've studied every heavyweight cruiserweight that's ever lived, when the cruiserweights step up to the big boys, usually they get found wanting. And even the greatest cruiserweights that's ever lived, Evander Holyfield, when he stepped up to the big boys in Big Daddy Bowl and it's Lewis, he was found wanting. You can beat the average big ones, but you can't beat the elite big ones, because size really matters. And we have weight divisions for a reason. And he's going to be found wanting when he fights me on May the 18th. Even if you look at David Haye, he was an explosive, good cruiserweight and good heavyweight. And when he fought average heavyweights, he could beat them. But when he stepped up to the big boy in Klitschko, it wasn't really a contest. We look at Thomas Adamek. He was a good light heavyweight, good cruiserweight. He beat some good average heavyweights, good world contender heavyweights, stepped up to the big boys, beat. So I expect the same from Oleksandr, to be fair. Who was the other one? Sultan Ibragimov. He was Olympic silver medalist. He was 20-0. He was world. I think he beat Shannon Briggs for the world championship, and he was found wanting against Vladimir Klitschko at Madison Square Garden. So I could just keep going on and on and on and on. Let's use Johnny Nelson for instance. Johnny was he was an undefeated cruiserweight when he was cruiserweight, but every time he stepped up heavyweight, he got bashed. So there is. It's facts. It's facts. I'm not slagging anybody off. But what I'm saying is, these are facts. And if anybody wants to go check my boxing history, go do it. I've studied this game all my life, and you cannot prove it wrong. This is my time, my destiny, my era, and my generation. Facts.
Let's talk a little bit of tactics. Let's bring in Sugar Hill here. Sugar, from your perspective, the other heavyweights who have tried to beat Oleksandr Usyk, Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, Derek Chisora, Chaz Witherspoon, all of these guys.
Limited ability.
But what did they do wrong?
Limited.
What did they do
Limited
wrong?
ability. They tried the best with their own ability, but it's very limited, and Sugar will take over.
It's not really much for me to say with Tyson, knowing it all. So, no, but just listen, Oleksandr Usyk, like Tyson said, is a great champion. Cruiserweight, he's won all these fights in his life. And a lot of it is due to, his athleticism and things of that nature, but he can think. So he's able to outthink these guys. Whereas they may come in and think one or two things, he's thinking 3 and 4. So, Tyson is the same way. Tyson's thinking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's one of those chess matches. But I definitely agree with Tyson. He's the bigger man, the bigger skilled man, and you have a smaller man with those same skills, or we'll just say with the same skills, and that big man's gonna win all day, Yeah.
And also, look, everybody underestimates Tyson's punching power. Everybody, I don't understand why. I mean,
I don't know about everybody. Wilder don't, does
Well,
he?
he don't. No, but I'm talking about, you talk about a lot of people, and they just don't seem to understand it. And you're right, everybody who does get stepped in the ring, they find out about it. There's no doubt about that. And I think that's going to be another telling point in this fight, a big telling point for him.
I've got a fun fact. Everybody who was supposed to be a non-puncher in my career has given me trouble. And everybody who was supposed to be a dynamite puncher have been all right against. So I better fucking watch me boots, Anna, here. Because he's noted as a total non-puncher, but I've been put over by a few non-punchers, Dad, haven't I? Noted non-punchers have put me over before, but the big uns, the big punchers in history, I've been found wanting to keep me nailed down. So that's a little bit of a fun fact for everybody.
Another fact, a non-puncher is a very durable man as well. He's definitely got cast
That's the
iron
fact.
skin.
That's the fact. And he's definitely a tough man, isn't he?
Big puncher, weak jaw. Don't take it as well.
Yeah.
Well, Big John's suggesting that Usyk has potentially a weak jaw. Frank? No?
You need to get your facts right too. He's got a cast iron jaw.
Yeah.
All that. No, but if he's a big puncher, look, Nigel Benn.
Yeah.
Weak round the tash, all the big ones. Who's the other one?
There's been loads of them, haven't there?
Been loads.
And I put that too. They're putting that much effort into knocking someone out. Rah! Leave themselves open to a counter, crack. Where the man who don't punch as much is using his boxing and moving, and he's not leaving himself wide open to getting knocked out.
Exactly.
Frank, you've talked about an Achilles heel for Oleksandr Usyk as well. Do you want to tell us more about that?
No, I've sort of looked at a lot of his fights going back to the amateur days, and he is a bit of a crybaby when it comes to getting caught to the body. He cries to the referee a lot, and for me that always was, if you want to use the phrase, an Achilles heel or an Achilles body. That's what it is, and he doesn't like it.
Factual that is as well, because the only time he's been put over is with body shots.
Yeah.
Beterbiev dropped him with a body shot,
Yeah.
and I think it was the Polish guy. What was the Polish cruiserweight called? Was he called Goblacki or something like that?
Lowacki.
Something like that. I think he dropped him with a body shot as well.
Yeah.
So
And
Frank's definitely correct there.
And I've sort of looked at that, and I looked at that before we made the fight with Dubois, and Dubois definitely hurt him to the body, irrespective of what went on. He doesn't like it to the body, that's for sure. And for me, the biggest exponent of exploiting a boxer's weakness is the professor here, and that's what he does. He finds that if anybody's going to exploit it, it'll be Tyson. He's got the mental capacity to do that and keep doing what he has to do. And I know people have asked about predictions. I genuinely believe that Tyson will win this fight in an explosive style.
And is that because we talked about size earlier as well? Is that because he's going to be so much bigger? Can you give us a bit more colour on the prediction?
I think he is. I mean, you only got to look at both of them. He is bigger, but the other guy, he's been heavyweight now for 3 years, so he's grown into that. He's grown into it. He's carrying the weight, and obviously, if you're struggling at cruiserweight, he's going to be more comfortable. But he's dealing with somebody, as Tyson said himself, he's natural. He's a naturally big guy. He's like, in some ways, like Usyk, that they've got very good good boxing brains, but I just think Tyson he is the best heavyweight in the world. There's no doubt about that. And everyone's going to talk about the last fight. Good fighters on an off night win fights. They don't he's not sitting here today saying it was an off night and that's why I got beat. He had an off night and he won. And that's what good fighters do. They come through it. And he come through it, and he is, in my opinion, in my lifetime in boxing, and since I've been doing this, he's been the best at it. He's been involved in the best heavyweight fight I've ever seen live, which was that third fight, without doubt. Yeah. And now, against Wilder, who, by the way, Wilder was undefeated heavyweight champion for 6 years. And the biggest puncher, and you look at his boxing brain, Tyson's boxing brain, that second fight, worked it out, what he needed to do, and absolutely done a job. And that's what he does. That's why he's such an intelligent, good, super good fighter. And I genuinely do believe, I believe this other fella, by the way, he's not, he's not just showing up. He probably feels in his heart he may have seen a couple of flaws in Tyson's last performance, and he'll be working on that, no doubt about it, like any fighter would do. But at the end of the day, he's in with somebody who is extra special, and I think we're going to see an explosive, extra special fight.
Well, Tyson, we know when it comes to critics, you don't listen. It's water off a duck's back. But I want to bring in Spencer here because you're having to see people criticise Tyson Fury, say some outrageous stuff out there as well.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you take to that?
It's when you're personally involved with somebody, it's a bit upsetting, and it can get really on your nerves. And but like Tyson says to me, just ignore it. It's water off a duck's back. But I mean, I watched yesterday. I don't know, 20 or 30 different people with different opinions. This fight is causing massive different opinions for everybody. It's going to be so much of a spectacular. What they've got planned for this fight is the fight, but we've got a great undercut. It's going to be spectacular. And I mean, they've even brought their own song out today, the Ring of Fire song. So if you're on the internet, have a look at it. It's unbelievable. They're pushing all the boats out for this fight. It will be tremendous, fantastic, stupendous. It will be unbelievable. And Turki Al-Sheikh and his team have done such a good job. And they do really think a lot of Tyson. They love him. So
no doubt about that.
Honestly, the relationship he's got with Turki Al-Sheikh is second to none. He was the first one through the door, and he'll probably be the last one out the door. So there's a line that they want to follow, and there's they want to get more fights to come. And Tyson's mentioned them, but we go one fight at a time. I think Oleksandr Usyk might have underestimated Tyson a little bit on that last performance. But if you see him in the gym, his punch power, everything's gone up. He looks out of this world. He really does. Fantastic shape. He's very focused on this fight, which I've noticed a lot. Really focused. So we'll see on the night, and we'll see who wins, and we'll see what everybody's got to say then. All the great boxers and pundits and all these people who are, what I've seen, a lot of them don't give Tyson a chance. I don't know where they're coming from on that past performance, on that last performance. But let's see. Let's see what they've got to say afterwards.
Hopefully I get changing around then, eh?
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. That's what they're all, some of them I'm quite amazed. But let's see afterwards. And like Tyson said, it's a boxing match. The best man will win, and we'll shake hands afterwards.
I think if I didn't train at all for this camp, I just come in at like 25 stone and sank maybe 15 pints of Peroni beforehand, and then the next day, go in there, what's he going to do? Jib and jab me around? Do you know what I mean? Listen, take nothing away with him, but he couldn't do anything without Chisora. We all saw that fight, and let's not be eluded with him. Yeah. It was 50-50 fight, could have won either way. So not unless he's come on at 38, 39-year-old in the last over 2 years, like leaps and bounds.
And I thought the Joshua fights were very close as well. I thought the Joshua fights were very close. He came out with a lot of marks, and
the second fight,
the second fight especially.
Yeah.
So,
but and the other thing is, you're saying 15 Peronis. You're on the Furiosity now.
Yeah,
so
but
what
there's no
chance has
alcohol
he
in there,
got?
Frank.
Got no chance.
So if I'm going in for a real ding-donger, I need at least 15 pints of brownie. At least.
Tyson, I was watching an interview with Oleksandr Usyk the other day, and he said that Vladimir Klitschko has reached out and given him some advice. But the
Well, that'd be
advice-
anti-advice, how to lose to the Gypsy King. How can Vlad, my old pal Vlad, give anybody any advice? Because he would have used it himself, wouldn't he, if he had any advice or any idea how to beat me. It was an absolute one-sided boxing lesson I give to old Vlad. And I believe Vlad was a very good champion, just like this guy is.
The best of his generation.
And I said, didn't I? I said, if I can't beat old Vlad, I must be useless. And I'll say it again. If I can't beat Usyk, I'm no good, clearly. That's your headline. If Tyson Fury can't beat Usyk, Tyson's no good. End of. I'm not going to pull any punches. It is what it is. If I can't beat Usyk, I'm no good. Say I'm no good. And then I'll get a rematch with him and say I'm no good again if I lose again. What more is there to do? But if I beat him, I beat another man. Great. Fantastic. On to the next one.
But if you do beat him, you get all those belts you talked about, the 8 belts, the undisputed. What will that mean?
I'll add them to the 25 I've already got, shall I? I've actually promised His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh that when I win all these belts, I give every one to him as a present.
Let's get a final predictions from. I mean, look, everyone's going to pick Tyson Fury to win, but give us a bit of colour on it. Sugar Hill, how's this fight going to play out?
Knockout.
Simple.
Yeah. It is.
Early, late.
Don't know.
Okay.
Just when it happens. Knockout.
May 18th, we'll find out. Spencer.
Knockout.
Okay.
8, within 8.
Okay, we've got a round out of Spencer. Let's see if we'll get a round out of Frank Warren.
You should ask I think you should ask his dad as well.
We'll bring in Big John Fury. Frank,
Yeah.
let me just get it from yourself first.
Knockout.
Okay, you going to give me a round like?
When he catches him, he'll go.
Big John, what do you think?
Chess match. It's going to be a boxing match between two great technicians. It could end up a bit of a boring fight to watch because that's what they do. And I think Tyson.
Buy your tickets here.
Yeah, get your tickets here, guys.
We've reduced the tickets now, so.
Buy one, get one free.
You've got to land that big punch. You know what I'm saying? You can sit here with a gun and you don't need it. You're not going to hit anything. Okay? It's what I'm saying is, it'll be a great boxing match between two top technicians, and Tyson being the bigger man, I reckon I'll see him being stopped around about 10 or 11 rounds. But before that, a great, masterful boxing match where both men get the tag, both men probably get nailed. But what it's going to come down to is what we thrive on, and that's what's between his legs at the end of it. And I don't think no man, the master that he has down there, he'll pull it up and he'll find the win in an exciting boxing chess match fight. But there will be some thrilling moments.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much, John.
And I'm going to go for Usyk to knock me out in the first round. Fuck it. I'm going to go for it. Why not?
There you go. We've got everyone's predictions, including Tyson's very curious prediction there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're going to do some photos down the front, and we'll see you May 18th for the big one.
Lovely.
You must have a big old shot at you.